Welcome, my friends. This is the Fat Man GM, and we are revisiting Judges Guild's various installments, the limited amount that I have in my collection. This particular one is called Wilderlands of the Magic Realm by Mark Homer. This is an official campaign guide approved by the Dungeons & Dragons. It originally came with 4 17-inch by 22-inch campaign maps, this being actually one of the actual maps. This map belongs to this particular one. A complete 32-page guidebook, which is this, including towns, treasures, monsters, treasures, and ruins by Judges Guild. And this would have been copyright 1980, this particular installment. Probably getting into the latter stuff that they produced. This is definitely would be for AD&D, first edition of D&D, AD&D compliant or compatible, right? See, it says here, all rights reserved. This book is an adventure designed and officially approved for use with Dungeons & Dragons TM by Tactical Studio Rules Incorporated, i.e. TSR, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Contents of this book may need to be changed by the individual judge to suit the campaign he or she moderates. No similarity between any of the names of the characters, persons, or institutions of the publication for any person living or dead or institution is intended, and any such similarity may exist as purely coincidental in the United States of America. And like I said, you can see that this is old school print. We've got by today's standards, very crude color. They're stapled. These actually could have even come off of a mimeograph kind of print setup. This is definitely not your main, if you will. So, and then it's broken up into 4 sections to deal with the individual maps that it's assigned to. So, map 12, the Islands of the Blest. Map 13, Ebony Coast. Map 14 is Ghinor, or I guess not. The map 11, 12, 13, 14 is Ament Tundra right here. This particular map. So, as like I said, it's not by today's standards. It's more of a series of annotations and little tiny bios and things like this, and what they feel is useful information. So, for example, on a given map, it gives you the hex numbers of the location, and here's the name of a village. So, in theory, there's a village located blah, and then in this case, the village of Flaking is 484 people. Its primary type is men. Civilization factors 4. Alignment is lawful evil, ruled by Versalt, 9th level lawful evil ranger, and its primary export would be pitch. And so we talk about the Isles of Blest, ruins and relics. You can find at this location a 12-foot copper diving bell attached to a broken chain is the home of a huge cave bear, 50 foot west of the bell. The prow of the vessel lies upside down. Over here is a gold ceremonial rinser worth 1,620 gold pieces, a scintillating robe, and a staff of striking laying upon a partially overgrown shrine. Here, the collapsed and eroded blocks of an ancient castle conceal the entrance to a looted treasure vault. Beyond the unopened secret trapdoor is a sarcophagus containing a mummy wearing robes of blending. Up to the judge or the referee to decide whether or not that's an undead mummy or just a mummy. Like here, 5 trolls reside in a ruined mill. Clogged wheel of iron, 10 foot in diameter, has fallen into the basement. Many axes, hammers, scythes, and tools are strewn about. Here, 20 huge blocks of granite stand in a straight line with 200 feet between each stone. Inorganic matter placed on the northernmost block will be teleported to the southernmost block during any phase of a waning moon. Okay, you can think of that as you will. Then we got the idyllic Isles of the Blest. Dreary wet island. This island is covered in barren rocks. A small cove is hidden on the northeast side of the island. A continuous drizzle falls on the island, hence it lives up to its name. The Isle of Rack, Deathbird Island. 2 wyverns inhabit this island. Attack anyone attempting to land. No provisions on this island. The Island of Terror. As you approach this island, you have a very uneasy feeling. Electrical storms always encompass the mountains in the very center, so it must be a very good-sized island. At the top of one of them, you can see an old castle, and it is inhabited by many ghouls, goblins, and vampires. And then, just that sort of thing. More islands. Whirlwind Island, a troll guard maintains a close watch over an age-old ship anchored in a small cove. The ship's starwards awaits return of its missing masters and can cast up to 4 charm spells per day. The living ship has an ego 11 and intelligence 10. Guard me, protect me, feed my trolls. Blue Phoenix Isle, a small band of gnomes raise vegetables and other plants and sell them to different markets. Baying Island, a giant wolf based at the moon, eating within a 3-mile radius, is to make a saving throw for fear. All right, designer's notes. Please note the following description is the same on campaign map 12 as on campaign map 4. Okay. I love some of the older artwork. Friends and family that created these things, often the spouses of the writers. And we have Ebony Coast, campaign map 13. Additional islands. Winged Hare Island, rocky and mountainous island inhabited by many waterfowl, basically pelicans and cranes. The only known habitat of the winged, semi-intelligent hares which live in the rocky cliffs. Flying rabbits. Ebony Coast ruins and relics. An ancient staircase set at the side of a 60-foot hillhawk. Immediately upon scaling the stairs, the user, unless a lawful good mage, will find himself teleported to the foot of the staircase. Well, a staircase for exercising. Saves you the trip back down. I'm just saying. Right? Colossal epic poem containing 230,000 lines is carved into an altar stone on a small mound. Written in dwarven runes, the poem will require 60 hours to read, at the end of which the dwarf Maribon, riding an azure giant crocodile, will appear on the mound. The dwarf will serve the reader every day thereafter as long as he is presented with an opportunity of personal combat 6 times each day. The dwarf will disappear if killed, and the slayer will take his place as the sacred warrior of the stone. Wonder if that's in the prologue. That'd be go through all that and then find yourself. I'm just saying, right? Could be a version of a curse. The Ghinor map 11. Ghinor campaign map. Menacing rocks. This island is rightfully named because there is no way to approach the rocks without danger of being dashed against their sharp, jagged surfaces. This is true whether one attempts to swim toward them or go ashore by boat. Stealth Lord Islands. The 2 islands have fertile soil and thick vegetation. Pirate was given the title Stealth Lord. Supposedly there is a buried treasure on each of these islands. Each island's trees are worth between 15 and 35,000 gold pieces. Some very, very rare trees. Interesting. I wonder why. I guess that would be up to the GM to come up with. Ammunition Island, an island in the mountain that has a mountain in the middle, which is surrounded by evergreen trees. If one climbs the peak of the mountain, makes a wish, the wish will come true as long as it pertains to the Ammunition Island, and only so long as the wisher remains on the island. All effects are temporary, in any case will vanish within 2 to 8 days. Speaking of wishes, I saw something in one of these the other day about wishes. I wonder. There goes the phone for something. Mute Rock, Token Island, Buccaneer's Head Island. Obviously most of these maps were trained to a lot of islands, which is strange because I thought, Ament Tundra, I guess there's not a whole lot there, just looking at the map. A tribe of insane gnolls tear up and kill everything in their path. Yeah? Blind poet sits on a stone chair selling poems to passerbys for a gold piece. Band of gypsies are camped for the night. Several of them are singing and dancing. Random encounters, I'm going to guess. Campaign map 414, which should be down here. That's what this Tundra map is. Quite a few villages for the Tundra. Lurid lairs. Why do they have to be lurid? Ament Tundra ruins and relics. Remnants of a tunic lay over a rock beside a harness and saddle made for a small dragon. Strange thing to find. What appears to be a dollhouse is really home to a family of very minuscule humans. Okay. A diving bell floats restlessly on the water in its wooden platform. Inside are two dead humans decaying badly. Freshly cut firewood is neatly stacked on the side of the trail. A small cottage lies 100 feet away where an elf and his wife live. A dolphin pulling an elven princess is riding on a dolphin sled. She's carrying a lit torch. Wouldn't that be an interesting sight? A family of 5 halflings have been castaways on this desolate rock for 3 days without food or water. Ament Tundra Islands. The Isle of the Worm. An aged red dragon has inhabited this island for 200 years. 150 kobolds are his slaves, bringing him food and water. A small treasure hoard lies in the abandoned citadel in the north. The Island of the Magic Statue. In the center of the island sits a pond of pale green water. The water is so clear you can see into it. Since the pond is only 8 feet deep, you can see a statue standing upright in it. The first person drinking or swimming in the water will be granted a limited wish from the statue. The limited wish thing again. Okay, so that's that. For, as you can see, there's not a lot to these. Mostly it was the maps, and they give you some reference material for, and you can also kind of get a gist of one of the reasons I've always thought of this system more in line with an older world, much younger world for adventuring and magic, more like swords and sorcery, less like modern Faerun D&D kind of thing. You would have vast distances between village and towns, and the fact that it just seems to me that it has a different atmosphere to it, or it can anyway. Because I remember the Conan the Barbarian Hibernia stuff. The Conan the Barbarian mind stuff, to me, is what first comes to play when I think of this particular stuff. And it's not to say that it is, it's just my take on it. Now, I said, I thought I saw something about wishes in here the other day, and my luck is I don't want to spend a terrible amount of time trying to hunt it down. But it was a very interesting take on how to deal with both limited wishes and major wishes, and maybe it was in another supplement. This is the one I took with me the other day in the truck when I was working, so we'll clip through the parts of this and see what happens. Probably isn't. I'll have to keep an eye out for it, so when I do find it, I can bring it in to make a point about it, because one of the most complicated or misused or potential for being misused spells and spell abilities is the wish in any form. And if you go back to the original game material, the old school D&D stuff, when the concept for these things were introduced, they were quite powerful. They've been mutated or muted down considerably since then because of the amount of potential game ruining destruction they can create, or problems that they can create, and being overused or misused. And whereas in the early editions, the early days, we didn't have that luxury. you either, it was the GM's job to figure out a way to keep the characters from going nuts with something like that, because you could really truly change. I want to be the overlord of the city of Overlord, the city-state invincible overlord, and in theory, it could very well be. Just saying. So there you have Wilderlands of the Magic Realm. Judges Guild. Till next time, game on.